Have you ever really thought about what it takes to make something sacred? Not just useful, but holy. Well, today, we're diving deep into the master blueprints for the furniture of the ancient tabernacle, straight from the book of Exodus. This is going to be a masterclass in sacred design. Right. That's the big question, isn't it? This isn't just about building a few pieces of furniture. We're talking about a super specific, totally intentional process of transformation. So let's follow the plans and see exactly how they did it, piece by magnificent piece. And you just have to start here, with the absolute centerpiece, the very heart of the entire operation, the Ark. This thing wasn't just some box. It was seen as the actual earthly throne of God. It was the most important object of them all, and believe me, its design shows it. Okay, so the basic plan looks pretty straightforward, but every single choice here is loaded with meaning. The foundation is acacia wood. It's this dense, tough desert wood that doesn't really decay, which tells you it's meant to last. But then, it's completely covered inside and out with pure gold. Gold always represents purity, value, divinity. And to give you a sense of scale, a cubit is about 1.5 feet, so this chest is roughly 4 feet long. And you'll notice, it's built to move. The rings and poles are part of the design from the get-go, perfect for people who are on the move themselves. But that simple box is just the beginning. This is where the artistry gets absolutely breathtaking. The lid, called the atonement cover, is one solid piece of pure gold. And get this, rising up from that cover are 2 cherubim. Now, they're not just attached or glued on. They were hammered out of the exact same piece of gold as the lid. Can you even imagine the skill it would take to shape one slab of gold into this detailed sculpture with wings spreading up and over, forever facing each other like they're in a state of worship? Just incredible. All right, let's move on to the next piece. You'll see how this all connects. We go from the symbolic heart of the tabernacle to an object all about sustenance, the table for the bread of the presence. And take a look at this blueprint. Ringing any bells? It should. We're seeing the exact same design language. You got your acacia wood core, and it's totally covered in gold. It's a little smaller than the Ark, but look, it's also designed to be portable with that same system of rings and poles. See? A clear pattern is definitely starting to emerge here. Now, the unique details for the table are all about its job. It's got this rim, about the width of your hand to keep things from sliding off. And the table came with its own accessories. A whole set of solid gold plates, bowls, and pitchers, all perfectly made to match. They really thought of everything. So, we've covered the heart and the sustenance. Now let's turn to the source of light. But the lampstand, or menorah as you might know it, isn't really a piece of furniture at all. It's more like a pure, stunning sculpture. And this is the part that just blows my mind. The technique is called hammered gold work. The lampstand wasn't built in pieces. It wasn't welded or stuck together. The entire thing, the base, the main shaft, all the branches, all the little flowers, was skillfully hammered out of a single solid block of gold. The level of artistry for that is, well, it's just off the charts. And the design itself is just beautiful, right? It's modeled after an almond tree in bloom, which is a symbol of new life. You've got 6 branches coming out of a central stem, and each one has these cups, shaped like almond flowers, with little buds and blossoms. And notice that key phrase is repeated again and again, of one piece with the lampstand. They really want us to understand this wasn't an assembly job, it was a single, unified sculpture of gold. Now, the blueprint is super specific about how much gold to use for the lampstand and all its tools, the wick trimmers and trays. The amount was exactly 1 talent. So, what on earth does that mean? It means they started with about 75 pounds of solid gold. To put that in perspective, that's roughly the weight of a 10-year-old kid. So they took that single heavy chunk of precious metal, and from it, they hammered out this delicate, intricate floral design. The value and sheer substance of this one piece is just immense. Okay, our final piece of furniture for this deep dive is going to engage another one of our senses, the sense of smell. This is the altar of incense, and it was designed specifically for offering up fragrant prayers. By now, you know the drill, right? We're following that same design language, acacia wood covered in gold. But this altar has its own unique flair. It's a perfect square, but it's taller than it is wide, which gives it this really elegant, column-like shape. And just like the cherubim on the Ark, those horns on its 4 corners were made as one single piece with the altar itself. It's that recurring theme again. Indivisible, master-level craftsmanship. So we've looked at 4 totally different objects, each with its own job to do. But when you take a step back, you start to realize these aren't just 4 separate designs at all. Nope, they are all part of a single, unified design system. And this slide really lays it all out. There's a clear set of design rules going on here. The materials are always the same, a strong acacia wood core for the structure, which is then made precious and holy with a covering of pure gold. And the features are consistent too. You've got decorative gold molding for that finished look, and that brilliant practical system of rings and poles that made sure every single piece was ready to go at a moment's notice. So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway. Nothing here was an accident. The choice of wood that wouldn't rot, the absolute purity of the gold, the recurring design elements, the mind-boggling feats of craftsmanship. Every single detail was on purpose. This was a holistic design system, meant to turn basic, raw materials into a cohesive collection of sacred masterpieces. And that really leaves us with one final thought to chew on. When you see this level of precision, this insane dedication to detail, this transformation of simple materials into objects of such profound beauty and meaning, it makes you wonder, right? At what point does the very act of making something so perfectly become an act of worship itself?